Hello, today is November 25th, 2018, and the time is about 9:24 p.m. Just wanted to do a video to say hello to everyone and another weekend done. The hardest thing for me with these weekends is, aside every weekend when I go in having to be strip searched, is knowing the injustice of why I'm there. And sorry if I look and sound a bit scruffy. I'm just very tired and exhausted. But as I was saying, being there when I shouldn't be, and having to live with that, and be treated like I did do something, and whatever else. It's hard. It's really hard. Until you experience it, you have no idea. And most people in the world, they're oblivious to the system and how many innocent people are incarcerated. And it's by no means is it, you hear people saying, oh, it's like a vacation and everything is great. Trust me, it's not like that at all. And again, as I said before, this is, I'm not saying anything bad against the correctional officers or anything. I mean, they're all professional, doing their job. No gripe with them. And you gotta remember, most of the people that they deal with, put themselves there and are of a certain type of character. So, they have a hard job to do. And I mentioned before in other videos, in the early 1990s, I worked in that environment, not as a correctional officer, but we'll just say more dealing with the psych end of things, psychology. Anyway, I remember when I was practicing law as an agent, and I mentioned this in other videos, and I had a placement in offers prosecuting, and in fact I was one of 3 people chosen to go for a position, a really good position, permanent position, full-time, to replace somebody who retired prosecuting. And I used to have such a great reputation and respect in the legal community, and I come out here and it's completely the opposite. But anyway, I was going to say, during that time, I process served sometimes. And I remember one time I was serving someone. I was actually a business registered at like a home address, and it was on the 2nd floor, and there was like a, what do you call it, like a fire escape that had to go up. Anyway, I was successful with the serve, and I was turning around. It was winter time. It was icy, snow everywhere. And as I turned around, the individual who, they weren't getting served themselves, but they were related to the person that I served, had opened the door, and I was taking my first step onto this icy, snowy fire escape, and they pushed me. Luckily, I grabbed the railing as I was going down, so I would have been severely hurt. Anyway, I had that person charged assaulting a peace officer, because when you're process serving or you're a process server, that's the status that you hold, at least in the province where I come from. And I had to go to court, and I was going to, testify, and the individual pled guilty and did a plea deal and all that stuff. And I can't help but think, I come out here and I've been charged and convicted wrongfully for assault and obstruction of a police officer. And yeah, it's and the person who charged me for allegedly assaulting them is no longer a police officer. They're in a career path that is so far remote from that line of work. It's anyway. My whole life is destroyed, and I'm coming out of this with nothing. My reputation, everything. I always thought, and I mentioned this before, if I was to ever do a career change, I would consider supply teaching, and that's never be able to do that again. I really enjoyed it. And when I did do it, when I had time, it was just more for fun. But looking at the environment of males in the teaching environment, from public schools to universities, maybe it's a good thing that I don't get into that, because it's terrifying, and a lot of men quit because of the environment with feminism and the believe me or Me Too movement and all that stuff. It's just ridiculous how everything's falling apart. Earlier, I stopped by a store, and I was talking to a young man who happened to see some of my videos, and I said to him, this can happen to anyone, and he realizes that as a young man, and it's people like him at his age especially that I'm worried about, because the way things are going for men overall, especially young men. And being in your 20s, and you may think you know a lot, but you really don't, and you're still learning life and everything else. And I say that because I see young men more vulnerable to these kind of attacks of false accusations, and I worry for them. Anyway, I'll do another video, and I'll talk more detail about different things. I'm just really tired and punchy right now. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.